Hello everyone. Let's start episode 2 after Fox and Lee Dam agree each other. The next day he went to his 900-year-old fox friend and told her about the human girl after swallowing his jade. The 900-year-old red jade turned blue. As soon as his friend heard it, she said this was a good thing, but the fox replied that he couldn't love a young girl. He can't make things turn into a tragedy like 600 years ago. Since Lee Dam swallowed the fox pearl, her whole body has always been in a state of tension. She just found out that she was seen by a hot boy from school not far away. Lee Dam didn't want to eat, so she said goodbye to her friends. As she stood up to prepare to go, she was stopped by a hot boy. Lee Dam's first reaction was not to touch people born in the year of the tiger, so she told him to give her way. The hot boy asked her again if we could drink a glass of water together. Her best friend saw that and immediately pulled her back. Why did she want to miss such a good opportunity? The senior asked her if she wanted a drink, but she resolutely refused. Her close friend asked Lee Dam why she was so tense. When the senior found out her name was Lee Dam, he wanted to take the opportunity to close the distance. But she suddenly avoided him. The senior's face immediately became unhappy. Seeing this, his close friend immediately helped him overcome his shyness. The senior tried to put his hand behind his back, but Lee Dam reflexively avoided walking. The senior was extremely uncomfortable. Fortunately, at this time a phone call came to him. Go. But there is a saying that what you can't have is the best. Now he just aiming at Lee Dam. But flowers fall intentionally and water flows unintentionally. He waited until after school to borrow money from Lee Dam to buy drinks, then come back, grabbed Lee Dam's phone and entered his phone number. He told Lee Dam to call him the next time he wanted something to drink. The promise to meet again a second time was so clear, he thought Lee Dam would like it very much. He was interested, but he didn't expect her to say she didn't like it. The senior, who had never been rejected since he was young, felt interested in Lee Dam. Lee Dam went home heartbroken and cried. She was healthy and lived for 18 years and suddenly got infected with a strange disease. She didn't even know if she would be able to see the sun again next year. The fox outside the door after seeing it couldn't help but remember the question of his fellow. He clearly knew how to get the jade fox out. But why didn't he take it out? Then the fox came to Lee Dam. He said, "I want to confirm something" before Lee Dam could react. The fox grabbed it. Lee Dam's hand looking at the red fox and Lee Dam's body. He got the answer. So he told Lee Dam she could come back. She should think of it all as a dream. Then he held on tight, taking Lee Dam's face. He originally wanted to take the fox jade back out of her body, but now he discovered that the fox jade in her body had changed color. He immediately stopped taking out the fox jade. But a human like Lee Dam's heart was shaking. The fox thought to himself that maybe the girl in front of him was the one he had been waiting for 600 years. This girl, who had lived 18 years in this life, was being teased for the first time. But to be exact, it wasn't a human, but a fox that had been alive for 900 years. But no one believed it when she said it, because it was her first time. So she had no experience. So she asked her best friend. She said she had a friend lived with a person of the opposite sex. But one day, that man suddenly kissed her. But the important moment stopped. They had only known each other for a week. But when she wanted to leave, the man without saying anything hugged her. So the problem was what kind of trick that man was playing. Her best friend insisted that it was an expression of love, not knowing that the man she was talking about was now in his mind also full of questions. As soon as his fox friend heard it, When he was about to take it out, the fox pearl turned blue, but quickly turned back to red. Why wasn't it the same as her at that time? The fox asked her. What was her situation at that time? She told him that her jade fox immediately changed color, because now she is a normal person. And now the fox cannot understand whether he wants to get the jade back or not. Her friend analyzed for him that perhaps this was his last chance. She did not know that at this time, the senior was also remembering Li Dam. The senior wanted to borrow money last time to meet Li Dam. Li Dam directly replied that she was not free. The senior's stubbornness was raised to the peak. He asked her what she was busy with. Unexpectedly, Li Dam replied that she was cleaning the toilet. She also asked him if he had any tips on how to unclog a toilet. The senior felt more and more that Li Dam was a bit interesting. In fact, she was actually cleaning the toilet. She didn't want the fox to see her embarrassed face. At this time, her senior called to teach her. First, close the toilet tightly and flush. After seeing the bulge in the middle of the bag, apply more pressure, and indeed, she can hear the sound flushing bar. She excitedly picked up the phone to thank the senior. She also gave the senior a nickname, the Toilet Fairy. First, the senior thanked her for the nickname she gave him. Then, based on the name of thanks, he wanted Li Dam to invite him to a meal. As soon as Li Dam heard that, she immediately agreed. The truth proves that according to it's impossible to chase girls without some skill. At night, the fox began to please Li Dam. He bought Li Dam the pizza she liked the most. He even gently asked Li Dam if she had enough to eat. If it wasn't enough, he would personally go into the kitchen to cook. Li Dam was suddenly confused by his gentleness. At this moment, she couldn't help but remember his best friend's words. That man was definitely showing love. Although she immediately said that it was impossible, she still took the initiative to ask the fox a word of love. The fox choked and didn't know how to answer. Li Dam continued to ask him like that last night. What do you mean? The fox explained that at first he really wanted to let go and let her go, but he thought that if he let her go, he would have to deal with everything alone and would be very confused. Li Dam also understood after getting the answer, so it was considered a matter of passing. But she still hoped that in the future, he could control himself and not do ambiguous actions, as that would easily cause others to misunderstand. The fox immediately dissolved his shyness. He said he just wanted to check to see if she was responsible for herself or not. Li Dam secretly thought that people really don't understand the world of foxes. In fact, foxes listening to his friend's words, because the jade fox in her body changed color, this friend immediately told him to date with Li Dam. The nine-tailed fox, who lived for 900 years, did not expect that he would be rejected, even more embarrassed about what he just said. Because Li Dam moving out to live alone made his younger brother a little suspicious about his sister's purpose for moving away, so he silently observed her. And indeed, the two of them had a new discovery. He heard his sister calling the other. The two analysts were probably professors, now young people call them that. The fox was still care about the jade fox inside Li Dam. Li Dam also conveniently touched her belly and said that jade fox hadn't changed anything recently. Her close friend heard that and said she maybe be pregnant, so the two of them came to the conclusion that Li Dam was pregnant. And it was right at this time, the fox comforted Li Dam, because she had worked hard because of the jade fox. Li Dam said it was okay, after all it was about to go out. When heard this, her older sister confirmed that she was pregnant. He immediately got angry. Li Dam as soon as looked, she knew everything had been exposed. Then the younger brother started questioning the fox. Do you love my sister? The fox replied no, so at least get married. The fox also answered no. The young man who has lived for 18 years is the first time he has encountered this kind of scoundrel man. But his friend can't stand it anymore. He only sees this guy holding a stick and rushing to attack the fox. But the next second, just a glance from the fox, of the two of them, was stopped in the air. The girl was extremely surprised and scared, but the fox told her to rest assured, he would take them home safely and erase their memories. Before Li Dam could react, the two of them immediately disappeared. Li Dam was extremely scared. One was her younger brother, the other was her best friend. She immediately took out her phone to call him, but was always in a state of turning off the phone. One moment she often saw her brother's bag still there, but the next second, it also disappeared. Li Dam hurriedly went home and saw her brother bringing the whole group of people to the house to play. Her younger brother also asked her what she was doing when she came home, seeing that backpack had disappeared, actually returned home. Moreover, her younger brother knew absolutely nothing about what had just happened. So, Li Dam immediately made an excuse to say she was going to get her things, then left, immediately. Not expecting her younger brother to tell her to quickly go after getting her things. As she left the house, Li Dam couldn't help but admire how powerful this fox was. Not knowing that at this moment, the fox was being mockingly by his friend, living 900 years, even a girl can't handle it, because his fellow, she immediately showed him a few tricks. In the 21st century, we no longer rely on sweet words, but must relying on practical actions. Frankly speaking, having to do all her requests, he thought about what she was thinking and worrying about. But unexpectedly, when Li Dam returned, she proactively said she had something to ask him. The fox thought to himself that his opportunity had come, but the next second, Li Dam's offer of help caught him off guard. This senior is an extremely good stalker. He always appears in front of Li Dam in a 12-hour day. He can appear in front of her at least 20 times, and the rest of the time he sends messages asking for a date. Li Dam completely understands how thick-skinned this young man is, which makes her unable to help herself, thinking, it seemed like she was like this back then. She didn't know that the seniors only did that because they made a bet with their friends. This girl couldn't even do anything to the school's hot boy, just to prove that he was capable. Could have Li Dam, they bet 100,000 won. Li Dam couldn't stand the senior's thick skin. She started talking to the fox. She talked about her situation in a hoarse voice. Thank you for your like and subscribe for more video. See you again.